Teenagers can make it on their own. Teenagers can be independent, self-reliant, and a good, smart teenager can not only survive on their own, they can do quite well on their own, as you will find out in this brief interview I give with this very intelligent, very wonderful 16-year-old. So you're Uziel, right?
Yeah.
Or Uzi. And you're 16?
Yes.
And you've been on your own since you were what, 15?
Yeah. I formally moved out of my parents' house, I guess, maybe 4 months after my 15th birthday.
I see. Although most people think that most 15, 16-year-olds don't have the proper marketable skills to live on their own, to make it on their own, and to survive. What do you have to say about that? Apparently you've done quite well.
Yeah. I was offered an internship at a computer business. That's where I moved out of my parents' house to go to. So I moved from Minnesota to DC and started working as a computer technician doing desktop support.
And you say you learned those skills from a cult, apparently?
Something like that.
I see. Well, not that you necessarily have to be in a cult to learn those skills, but that just goes to show you don't need a college degree or even a high school diploma to be able to have the proper and marketable skills to do well in this life.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to college anyway, actually, in a few weeks now I start, but I've been supporting myself for a while. I worked at that computer business for almost a year, and then I left and started working as a receptionist at, an upscale salon in DC instead.
And you say that you sometimes make $50 an hour, and that's actually on a low level.
Oh, I mean, that's like a really occasional thing when, sometimes I do something called digital forensic consulting. It's like for civil legal cases. If a lawyer needs someone to analyze hard drives for data and collect evidence, then I'll get called in to do that sometimes.
Okay, but you're doing quite well on your own, and
yeah.
You're living out in the real world, because the only way to get experience living in the real world is by living in the real world. You got to start sometime. So
yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Sure, thanks.
Wow. You believe she's 16 at the time I gave the interview. She was only 16. She was 15 when she moved out of her parents' house and was on her own. Now, just by the way she looks and by the way she acts and by the way she conducts herself, most people wouldn't think she's 16. They probably think she's about 25. And as you can see, she's done quite well on her own. That just goes to show you that teenagers can make a difference. That the teenagers in this country at this time, a lot of them have more power than they realize. Teenagers, they need to realize their own power. That's how they can be independent and not have to be under their parents' reign all the time and have their parents have such control over their lives or other such authority figures, teachers, etc., etc. So that just goes to show you that teenagers can make it on their own. You don't want to have that defeatist attitude that says, oh, well, I'm just a kid. I got to just do what my elders say and all that. No. You can't have that defeatist attitude. You got to be resourceful. You got to know what you've got, what you can use. You got to work hard, be smart, and do the best you can. So teenagers, you can make it on your own.